And welcome to round 10 of the Tasmanian Rugby Union, where we have a couple of matches today. About to see our championship grade, the reserves or the seconds competition between Launceston, you can see running out in the background, and Taroona, who are already on the field. So the Taroona side there, I've got a few changes to that team, but you'll see them as they're playing and hear them on the call. And Launceston team there as well, there have been a couple of changes. Noted change probably there or in is Johnny Chand, who we saw a few weeks ago blitzing it in the first grade competition against Devonport. And yeah, we've probably got a pretty good game on our hands. A good, nice little bit of camaraderie there. Albie Mayol, who's playing for Taroona now, is a former Launceston player. So he'll be out for some blood today. Taroona just making their huddle. And Launceston have come down with a full team, which is great to see. I've got their first grade team playing against Harlequins later today, but we won't get that on the stream, unfortunately, for those guys. As our follow-up game from this one is Taroona versus Devonport, which is second versus third on the men's premiership ladder. So it should be a good match to look forward to as well. And you see the ball in hand, ready for the kick here. He's Robbie Peters. He's playing in the fly half position, and there's a nice little short chip there, goes over, taken by Ring, dodges that first tackle nicely because it was really on, and slips around, manages to get the ball down, squeezes it back, and now the ball comes out to Hall, running a good line, but taken by some good solid tackling by Launceston. Ball now back to Lagrange with the kick. He throws that straight down the throat of Tokamaata. But a good chase by Blowfield for Taroona. And Launceston will settle around the halfway mark. Ball goes wide, finds big Fanguna out there with the blonde hair. And Launceston get around the outside with a nice flick ball outside there that got outside the defence of Burke. And they go quickly to that left-hand side again. A big run from Viliami Hikau, playing in the halfback position. But eventually hangs on too long and drops it. He's lucky to get away with not being penalised there after dropping it and then picking it up again and pushing it back. But the knock-on was there, and we'll see a scrum form. 15 metres inside Taroona's half. Taroona back line here. We've got Ruben Inglis, who's played amongst a few clubs this year. It's good to see Ruben getting out and around and getting a game wherever he can. Playing at halfback, and he's got pretty well experienced Taroona backline outside him with Lagrange, who's a very good tactical player, playing at fly half. Alistair Burke playing at inside centre, and Rob Holmes at outside centre. So some talent out there for Taroona, but they've got a pretty solid opposition in that back line as well. So we'll probably see a good battle out there. Inglis doesn't pick the ball up, does a good job, and Cody Hall coming off the side of the scrum ends up picking that up. So penalty advantage there, and the ball comes wide. Burke looks to step inside, but Chan's got him covered, and the ball just coming back now. Inglis with the pass. Got Mayol outside him. He floats one outside to Blowfield. Gets past the first tackle, and then well supported again by the passer there. Mayol to get in and allow Blowfield to get to ground. Ring hitting it up, not rolling away here. Fortunate Launceston player, no penalty there. And Fanguna gets up very quickly, but we're coming all the way back for the penalty, the scrum penalty. So made a little bit of ground there, Taroona around the outside, but very solid defence from Launceston. sees them force Taroona to go back and take the penalty option. Kick comes low and long and gets over the heads of the Launceston players, but I don't think the ball goes out. So it was a good kick, but it didn't bounce out. And now it's come back around here in the hands of Creek. Blowfield gets under it nicely. He's got Davies on his outside, but Creek follows up, just gets shrugged off by Blowfield, and then he gets hit in a solid one. Chand now rolled over that ball onto the wrong side and is going to be penalised. And Taroona will get an option here through Blomfield. A good solid contact there in the midfield. Mayall now runs in, just takes an easy hit. Fanguna flops over that ball again on the wrong side. And now Burke. Oh, he had Holmes running on his outside into a gap, but he wasn't able to get the ball there quickly enough. Timing was just off from the run from Holmes. And Taroona will take the penalty. It'll be interesting to see what how Launceston defend here, whether they decide to compete in the air. Looks like they're going to lift Ryan Dudman, I think, there at from the front position. Taroona not giving anything away here. And they go to the front as well. Savoury gets his hand on it. Ball goes to ground, though. And we've got an advantage to Taroona again. Got some bit of space out here. Burke straightens up and some nice hands out there. And Wright can't quite catch. So good quick hands out there by the Taroona back line. But we're coming back for a penalty. I think Inglis tackled again without the ball when he tried to gather that tap down. And they'll go to the line out again. So pressure's on. Launceston's defence has been pretty good so far, but penalties just making it easy for Taroona to march their way down into a better attacking position. Last line out was a good competition in the air. Savoury just able to get his hand on that, which is why it was difficult in there for Inglis to get his hands on that ball as it hit the ground. I'll probably go to the back this time to mix it up. No, and they go to Savoury again, but it misses him, and Fanguna comes in and can't take it, and he's knocked it on. Launceston regather, so we'll have a scrum this time. Good competition in the air there from Launceston. In the end, Taroona lifter unable to get his hands on, the lifted player unable to get his hands on that ball, and it dropped in to the hands of Sakopi Fanguna, but he couldn't take it, and has given an opportunity over to the men in blue to have a good attacking position here with the scrum only 5 metres out. The ball comes straight through the other side. Inglis has got to be quick. He does. He gets that ball out. And, Chand in the end intercepts that. He's got his hand on it and looked like it was going to hit the ground and knock it on. But he ends up catching it at his bootlaces, and he's run 80 metres there to score under the posts. So disappointment for Taroona in that situation. Bit of a miscommunication. You just see it here. Came off Chand's hand, but he caught it before it hit the grass, and he was away. There's a good chase there by Blowfield to make up some metres on him, but Chand was safely away and scores the 5-pointer against the run of play. So good reprieve there for Launceston, getting down the field and being able to put some points on despite having had next to no possession so far. So 7 minutes down. It's been about 7 minutes out of the 7.5 odd played. Taroona have had the ball in their possession, but now Launceston have turned that around and will make it 7-0. So Taroona is slowly making their way back, not in any rush to get back down the field. And the men from Launceston will spread it out here and look to field this kick. Lagrange again with the kicking duties. Comes to the near side. And well taken. Nice contact in the tackle, but solid catch there from Launceston player. I think it was Dudman. And good quick defence there from the Taroona players, but Launceston support's good. And the kick comes through, so it's a wobbly one. Blowfield doesn't let it hit the ground, which is sensible, and he manages to get through. Throws a great pass out to Noble, who swings back inside, and now Taroona are on the attack. Cody Hall goes in. He sees a couple of props in front of him and looks for some space. He creates a bit of a gap, but Chan gets up quickly, and some nice hands out there from Holmes. Gets the ball to right. And he goes to ground, and Holmes gets around in support and picks it up and scores the try. So it was good work from Wright to get that ball on the ground. The Launceston player came in from the side to pick that up. Just some great hands out here. Rob Holmes gives the pass and then makes support. Wright gets around the outside but is tackled, puts the ball on the ground. And the offside player in the number 13 there, Yesi Alatimu for Launceston, came across and there was an advantage. But Rob Holmes again picked that ball up quickly. And quick thinking gets him over the line. So a very quick return there with 5 points on the board to Taroona. Scored out wide. So challenging kick here from Lagrange about to happen. Weather's good. Tiny bit of breeze swirling around. Not really causing any advantage anywhere, I don't think. Just saw again in that situation, Johnny Chan getting up really quickly in defence on Alistair Burke, but this time Burke was able to ride that tackle and dish the pass out. Even though it went to ground, Holmes was able to get his hands on it and pick it up in space. So as ball shifted quickly that time by the Taroona backs, and they're going to have to get it a little bit quicker if they want to get around the outside of Johnny Chan, because he's causing some difficulty out there in the defence. It's a nice looking kick too, just away to the right. So the score will remain, as you can see, Launceston 7, Taroona 5. Just thinking about the breeze, it may it picks up a few gusts maybe to the advantage of Taroona kicking at the moment, just behind their backs. It's pretty much the way the wind blows on this ground. If it's going to come from anywhere, it's going to come from the right of camera. But you can see those trees. There's not a lot happening. Just every now and then a minor gust. It may be of assistance. Okay, another nice short kick here. It holds up in the wind. Ring gets there again, and again dodges the first tackle there. And the ball comes to the back. Inglis to Lagrange. Taroona goes wide again, and then Burke sees no winger home, and he kicks it and gives a nice little bounce on that too that rolls ahead. Good experienced eyes there from Alistair Burke. Just noticed that the winger on that far side for Launceston was up in the line, and kick puts his team in better field position. Hands the possession over to the line-out throw for Launceston. Kieran Fallon in there with the ball in his hands, looking for the throw. And he goes head. Dudman gets his hand on it, and Launceston win the ball. Comes out now. A couple of passes, though. Not quite where I wanted to go. And we've got the knock-on happening out there. So a bit of confusion around Launceston there. That ball came out of the back of the ruck and went straight to Wood, who was not intending to be the first receiver, and gave the defence a little bit of an opportunity to push up, and then that wide pass there not taken. So we saw number 8, Manu Fafita, out there in the, I think he's wearing the blue-grey headgear. He's playing at number 8 as well in his position, but he was out in the middle of the backs, and just a bit of miscommunication out there between him and the man next to him. It was Yesi Alatimu, so great opportunity here for Taroona to put some more points on. They can get that ball out of the scrum. Launceston put the drive on here. Inglis is going to have to get his hands in there very quickly. No, and Launceston end up winning the tight head. And the ball comes to Peters, who kicks downfield. Davies has got it covered and sits up for him. Good defence in there. Again, Creek getting up quickly. And Taroona just being able to secure that ball there. Inglis now gets it out quickly, finds Burke. He goes to Lagrange, who looks for the kick. Fanguna goes for the smother, and well picked up and well held onto there by Lagrange. And the ball comes wide now. Burke struggles to get that one low and kicks it straight down the throat of Tokamaata. He runs back inside, is met in a solid tackle by Blowfield and Savoury together. And the cavalry arrives, and Launceston now get it away. Ball comes to Razowski. And now Fanguna again unable to hang on to that ball. So trying to get the big fella involved, but couldn't take that one. And Taroona with another scrum. So they lost the last one. They want to get this ball out a little bit quicker. Just didn't get past the second rower's feet at the last scrum, I think, and made it difficult for Inglis to, couldn't even get his hands in there to get it, even though he had a good look around both sides. And in the end, Launceston got the secondary push on and were able to win that ball. So certainly a big size advantage. This Launceston forward pack is huge. And Taroona's got a pretty small crew. And again, the drive back. Got to get that ball out. Someone's got to fish it out. And couldn't get in there again. Inglis just trying to find a way in to get that ball. And Taroona not maintaining their bind. That scrum popped up. So Peters with the kick. It's going to land over on our tent. And we'll have a Launceston line out in front of us here, right on the halfway. And the ball tapped down, knocked on by Launceston, and good recovery down there by Philip Ring, and needs to be released. Mayall taking that ball in the middle of the field. Taroona haven't got a lot of support there, but they've got enough. And Aidan Cannell now on the field. Runs into some very solid contact, one low and one high, and driven backwards. Inglis now comes to the blind side, and Burke gets it over the head of the winger. He goes down to that corner. Ball sits up though. Oh, horrible bounce down there for AJ Creek. But he manages to chase it, and then he's kicked a huge one downfield. Dave, I don't know what's happening here, but number 7, Dudman, is about 40 metres offside there. And they're offside too. So, oh, here we go. We're going to be some trouble now. Hickow with the spear tackle and throws Burke into the field. And we may see a red card even here. He was offside and a dangerous tackle. If he doesn't receive a red, he's going to be very lucky. Oh, only a yellow. Wow. Offside intentional and tipped him totally up from horizontal. So I'm not sure why, what the mitigation here is to only make that a yellow. Very lucky. So Carl will take a seat, and Taroona go the quick tap and go to the right. Holmes straightens up, he's close, but taken down, gives the pop pass off, and finds the hands of Cody Hall, and Hall goes over. So great running there, just Rob Holmes again running across field and straightened up beautifully to get through. It was a lovely tackle in the end to get him around the ankles. Not sure who that was back there. Oh, just a bit of an ankle tap. And the pop pass though, and a really solid run there from Hall. So Taroona take the lead now. After piling on plenty of pressure, the defence of Launceston has been pretty good, but again, just discipline. Silly penalties, offside play, dangerous tackles. They really need to tighten that up if they're going to get back in this game. A very potent attacking team, Launceston, and they can easily score, as we saw, from anywhere on the field. They just need to stop giving away penalties and allow their team the opportunity to maintain some possession because they've had very little so far in the 18 minutes we've been playing. Good range with the kick. Gets his head over it. It's nice and straight. Hits the post and bounces through. I thought it looked like it had bounced back into the play. So 12-7, 14, no, 12-7, yeah. And the kick to come. Peters is good, shallow kicks. He doesn't quite get a lot of height on them, but his chasers are really onto it as they tire a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if they get there, but ball's gone down practically down the throat of Philip Ring both times. We'll see if he goes there again. Yeah, he's gone to a good place. I don't think this one's going to make there. No, it does make the 10, and tapped back by Fanguna. In the end, picked up by Wood. Runs into his own player, but no impact on the play there. There was no tacklers there. And a nice run here from Fallon. Driving forward, getting his team on the front foot. This is what Launceston need. They haven't had any opportunities to put some phases together, and they're doing a good job of that now. Been well held up here, and we might have the maul called. No, it gets it to ground. Good effort by Mayall there to spoil that, but in the end, he gets in the way, and the penalty advantage goes Launceston's way. Just unfortunate there for Mayall. I thought he'd done enough to have that call to maul, but as the ball, I think, made it to ground as it went down. And the tap comes from Peters off the shoulder of Fanguna. I thought it might have gone backwards, but called forward. So again, just disarray there for Launceston. Poor old Sakopi Fanguna, unable to get his hands on the ball, unable to catch one, I think, so far. He's dropped everything that's come his way. So I'm sure Taroona won't be upset about that because he's a big unit. It means they don't have to be tackling him at full speed. Hall having a break. Chase Rundle coming on the field. First game for Taroona. Inglis with the put in. Taroona's scrum has been unsuccessful the last few times, so they want to get this one out quickly. It's a good drive, but the counter drive, the secondary push there from Launceston is very good. But referee deems that one to have rotated first beyond the 90 without a push, original push. So we'll have it reset. Winger, you can see in front of us there, number 15, AJ Creek, playing on this wing in defence. Just being called by his teammates to get back. And the ball comes out, Noble's got it. And he's found some gap, a few steps either way. Doesn't get past Fanguna. Has he got some support? Yeah, Fanguna doesn't roll out quickly enough though. And fortunately for Taroona, they're able to get some support in there. Ball comes back inside to Jenkinson, who gets taken in a nice tackle. And Inglis now looks for someone out wide. He's got Lagrange, who finds Cannell on a straightening line. But he gets met in an excellent tackle by Kieran Fallon. And Taroona's support arrives. Blomfield unable to catch that one off his chest. And we've got knock-ons both ways. And that ball will come the way of Launceston. Thought Fanguna was lucky to get away with falling on the wrong side of that ruck at the last one, but I think Taroona was able to win the ball and he didn't really slow that down. So, happened a few times though with the tacklers from Launceston making the tackle and ending up on the wrong side of the ball. Something to be cautious of. With Cow off the field at the moment, we've got Scafidi coming in to feed the scrum for Launceston, who've dropped one on this scrum as well, so they don't have their Blindside number 6 flanker on the field, on the scrum, sorry. Judging by their last few scrums, Launceston have got it well covered. And the drive from Launceston's good enough to get it out. Ball comes to Peters. He goes on a line around the back to Chand, who looks for a long pass over the back. And Holmes goes to take the ball, but gets shouldered off it nicely. And then we've got a penalty advantage. Again, tackling the player without the ball. Must have been on Holmes. I thought it may have just been some contact shoulder to shoulder, but I think Holmes pushed out of the way in that case. Just watching the gesture there of the referee. And the ball comes to the boot of Lagrange again, who kicks for the line out. So Taroona more possession, 24 minutes down, 10 minutes left in this half. 35-minute halves played in this division. Another substitution for Taroona. Michael Smith coming back on in the front row and Aidan Cannell taking a break. Rolling subs permitted as well in this division. There's no limitation to the number of times you can substitute, just to encourage competition and good play. And Smith will come in and throw this line-out ball. Not sure where it's going, taking his time. Not sure what we're waiting for. And the ball goes well over the head, very high looping ball, and I think the little bit of breeze takes that and throws that to Launceston. Fanguna gets his hands on it this time, holds on, gets his team on the front foot and makes a good 5 metres past that initial ruck. Pass back into Fallon, who was very flat-footed and deep, and he's caught behind the gain line. But good support, and Launceston go wide. And again, Chand can't take the ball, and the ball's been turned over. Oh, the flick pass from Burke. Took that ball after the knock-on from Chand and tried to fling it out wide where he thought there was a bit of space, but it's gone forward. But we'll come back for the original knock-on. But another opportunity here for Launceston at the scrum, where they've been very good so far. Taroona struggling, so some change required here. Front row for Taroona, Smith. I can see Philip Ring there, who's come from number 7 into there. And Albie Mail on the other side, on the tight head for Taroona. They need a quick ball here, and it gets to the back quickly. Noble trying to get his hands on it and manages to fish it out somehow, and then escapes the tackle. He's got some support on his outside, and a beautiful line run there by Tim Davies into the hole, and somehow drops the ball. I think everyone seems to have think that he actually caught it. He slipped, the ball slipped out of his hands around the 5 metre line, but we'll have a look whether it actually hit the ground. So he's carried it here, and he's dropped it. But yeah, he's definitely scored it. Didn't actually drop the ball, and he definitely put it down safely. But I don't know what he was doing there for that ball to have slipped back. So unfortunate there for Taroona, but certainly on the replay it looked okay. But I get why that was deemed to be a knock-on. Very untidy by Davies, who'd just done some good work to get into that gap. And in the end, unable to score the points. Good run out of there by Yesi Alatimu. And then the ball comes back for Peters to have a kick. He doesn't make touch, though, and Blowfield gets onto it. He'll enjoy this contact here with Creek and just bumps him off. No one with him in support, though, but here they come now, the Taroona support players. And the ball comes back. Launceston just ease off here. Mayo runs into contact. Keeps on his feet and makes an extra couple of metres. And not sure how that ball was stolen in there, given that Mayo was on the ground, but Fanguna was the only one there for Launceston, so deemed to be legal. And there's the turnover. And they look to go really wide. They've got some space out there. Noble makes a good contact on Alatimu, and now Launceston going backwards again, and they've knocked it on. So just pushing the passes way too often, Launceston in their back line. I'm not sure why they're not just settling out there and trying to use their extra size to make their way through, but Got a call, yellow card player coming back on. So Hickau permitted back on the field now after his time in the sin bin for dangerous tackle. And Taroona, another opportunity here. Noble was able to fish that ball out a couple of times under a lot of pressure. Playing at number 8 there. Taroona really need to get this ball back quickly. May even look to go down the blind side. Just looking around there. Launceston don't. Oh, yeah, they do have a defender out there. I think it's Fafita. Has come off the back of the scrum now and pushed out to the far wing. Nice work in the scrum. And the ball just knocked back. So seemed to get to the back of the scrum there for Taroona, but no one saw it and it's lost. Noble with the low body height there over that ball managed to survive the first contact, and then the Launceston player going off his feet. Not sure who the player is for Launceston out there who's come on. No, it's Carver in the number 22. Ball goes wide for Launceston. Burke gets through the first line of defence. And then not sure where to go there from Inglis, and Philip Ring running an interesting line, looking to get in there and support, and had to back off. But the ball comes to Smith. And now Mayall decides he's going to have a run around the fringe. Does so. Davies, no, not Davies in there. It's Rundle in there, unable to clear that ball out, and I think it's been turned over now. So Launceston comes to Scafidi, taken to ground. And just taking their time at the back, looking which way to go. And a nice run through there by number 14, no, number 22 for Launceston, and he's given away a forward pass. So again, pushing passes out there. Sione Carver with a nice run. Five minutes before the half ends. So another scrum here to Taroona. They're really struggling in this area. Alex Cole coming onto the field now into the number 8 position. Last scrum for Taroona. Hooked back really nicely, but got to the second rower's feet and somehow ended up being kicked back the other way. And Launceston's push has just been outstanding. Solid straight pushing from them off the... as soon as that ball goes in, it's making it very difficult for Taroona. The pretty inexperienced forward pack. Ball's again near the back and finally gets out. Well picked up there by Inglis. Manages to get it to Burke, who dummies nicely. Has got Cole inside him. Team? Not sure got a penalty advantage there. Must have been knocked on by Cole. I didn't think he got a hand to it. And now the turnover comes. Nice run out here by Fallon. Had a good game, and Launceston now push it to Scafidi. Big contact, but we're going to come back for a penalty advantage. I think the knock-on came on a ball played on the ground back there after the knock-on by Cole. And Peters goes the banana and makes about 6 metres, maybe 10. The call from the sideline, generous. Fallon about to throw this ball in. He's had a good game so far, working really hard in the contact. And easy line out there. Ball comes wide. Peters dishes it off to Alatimu, who's taken to ground. And there's plenty of pressure there at the breakdown by Taroona. Rundle just finding himself over the ball as he's come through. And I think we've got a penalty advantage here again from that too. So good contact coming up there in the tackle. Launceston maintaining possession, but really they're not making any ground here. There's just a disorganisation, I think. They need to start settling some players down. A nice run there from Rosowski. Taken well by Savoury. And big run there from Carver again. Dishes off and finds Alatimu. Just not forcing passes that don't need to happen now, and it's a much better strategy from Launceston. Except for that one, but well taken, well done by Wood to get that one, taken around the ankles. Big fellas from Launceston making some metres, but good solid tackling again. Savoury with a nice tackle. Just showing the older players how to do it, going around the legs, making sure that they don't get through. And Launceston go left. They've got numbers out wide. Someone's got to make the tackle on Hikau, and he drives forward really nicely. And Launceston now looking dangerous, only 5 points behind. Surprisingly, after having almost no possession for most of the match. And again, the tackle, nice offload there, and Alatimu's through. Great offload. It's a good tackle by Inglis, I think, back there. I'm not sure, but maybe Savoury made the tackle again, I think. But, I don't know. Yep, no, it came back in, and it was, yeah, between Inglis and Holmes. But the offload was exceptional, and Alatimu scored to even things up. Just waiting for the conversion. And the kick to come. I think Alatimu kicking his own conversion. In a good position and nudges it over, and it's good. So Launceston managed to take the lead, and there's our half time. So after soaking up a lot of possession from Taroona, the Launceston defence, despite being fairly ill-disciplined and giving away a lot of penalties, has managed to come away with a 2-point lead at half time. Highlights of that one, great intercept try running 80 metres by Johnny Chan from Launceston, but quickly followed up by a couple of tries by Taroona to take the lead. And then that one there with some possession to Launceston, finally able to put some points on the board. And we saw just that one yellow card to Viliami Hikau from Launceston for a dangerous tackle. But with the scores at 14-12, we'll take a break and we'll see you back when the second half resumes. Welcome back, second half. Been a close one here. I'd say in 35 minutes of rugby, Taroona probably had about 35 minutes of possession. And Launceston, though, managed to score a runaway intercept try, as well as one in the last minute of play. So Taroona got their work cut out for them now to get that lead back if they can. And Launceston really have looked threatening every now and then when they've had the ball, but they've pushed too many passes and dropped a lot of ball. If they can just consolidate those basic skills, then there we go again. So another drop ball. Just need to make those plays stick, and they'll be able to maintain some more possession and look a bit more dangerous. But they've handed the ball back, and Taroona now with another opportunity. Chan gives the ball. Matthew Noble running into a gap and chips through. He's got Alex Wright chasing, but well covered back there by Creek. And he's going to go for a bit of a run infield. He's going to go all the way across. Gets outside the tacklers. He's made no ground, though, and eventually meets the opposition maybe about 5 metres up the field from where he got the ball after running about 50. So good intent there by Creek to try and find a crack in the defence, but unable to do so. Now Launceston. Now this man with the ball, the big guy, Sakopi Fanguna, looked very dangerous all of the last half, but he just couldn't get his hands on the ball and dropped a few. Now the ball's come over the top, and Lagrange gets out there. Now the ball's away, though, and Chand has it. Oh, it's a nice ball there. He's found Alatimu, and he dishes it in field and finds Creek. And he's going to be tracked down here by Noble, but he's going to get there. So quick hands around the outside by Launceston to get on the outside. I think Alex Wright just let the player around. It was a good chase there by Wright, and he gave up here. He could have kept running. Well, he did keep running in the end, but yeah, that inside passes, some very flat ones there from Launceston. Just really pushing the boundaries there, Launceston, of of those flat passes. Great support play from them to put that one on so quickly. And the kick from right in front by Alatimu is good. So a good start to Launceston. Push that lead out now to 9 points. And they'll now field the return kick. Again, Taroona just slow to return. Trying to get a few extra moments of a breather. A few more substitutions out here. A couple of new players on. Matthew Noble into fullback, and George Chaperon Tucker has come on. I'm not sure where. Jenkinson just got his timing wrong there. He didn't really impact on the play in the end, but he's put his hands on Fallon just before Fallon was able to catch that ball and deemed to have impacted on him, which is definitely fair call. Just timing there for Jenkinson. And in the end, that ball taken to the penalty, and a nice raking kick downfield there for Launceston. I can see the assistant referee with his hand out the wrong way. That's better. Simon Plum over there with the flag. Taroona club president running the sideline. Thanks, Simon. Someone's got to do it. And line out throw, not straight this time. So Dudman with a nice clean catch, but not thrown down the middle of that line out, and Taroona will have a scrum. Launceston's backline defence has been very effective. They've done a good job of getting up quickly and putting pressure on, particularly around that inside centre position. Passes from Inglis have been well directed, but just sometimes a little bit slower than Taroona would like. And Chand, who's now dropping way back into a fullback position, has been up very quickly on Burke and given him some trouble. Probably maybe an early drive there from Launceston, but well done at the back there by Hall. Dishes it off, and Lagrange gives the kick downfield. There's players waiting back there, and Fafita, he's way back there over the halfway line and takes that ball easily without many chases. And Launceston now been some great running so far in there by that player, Carver, in the number 22. And Fanguna, good low tackling by Taroona. And they cut it wide. Oh, Holmes with the intercept, but can't take it. It would have been away too. So great run up there by Rob Holmes with a big floating pass. But just again, Peter's throwing these Hail Mary passes that just aren't working for Launceston. Really need to just settle. They don't need these big cut passes. Where they've been more successful is when they've drawn and fed or taken the tackle and been able to offload to just an easy running player rather than trying anything too tricky. Just was interesting watching that pass too. Just got caught up a little bit in the wind. Just shows there is a slight breeze out here now. It's definitely picked up a little bit from the start of the game. And Hikau will now put this ball in. Give his team a good platform around the halfway mark. And he goes quickly too. Inglis didn't follow that ball around to the other side. And he's a solid runner. But Burke won't let him past. And Launceston get there in numbers. So now we've got a good run here from Fergus Brown, making metres. This is where Launceston need to maintain their focus. Just making metres, making metres. They've got huge size advantage. Players like this one, well taken in the tackle, just went in easily that time, did Fanguna. Again, just not trying to risk anything. And this is where, again, I'll say it again, Launceston are going to be dangerous. And Peters just hits that ball up himself, doesn't flick the pass out as he's been inclined to do a little bit more earlier in the game. And Launceston now looking like they're going to threaten this line if they can maintain possession. Good solid run there. Savoury got his head on the wrong side there and copped a solid hit from Carver. Slow to get up. And here's Fanguna. He's been good this half now. Maybe an extra roll, but no, he's got it secure. Just trying to get that ball back. Fallon now running a nice inside line. And Launceston about their 12th phase. Nice run from Dudman, just changing angle at the last minute and putting his team on the front foot. Pass not so great, gets out there, and Savoury runs into a very solid tackle from Tokamaada. Sorry, not a tackle, a hit. And the ball's been turned over now. Matthew Noble gathers that and kicks it downfield, but he's put it out on the full. But he was inside the 22. So he was allowed to. And breathe a sigh of relief there, Taroona, after soaking up a lot of those phases from Launceston. So great continuity from Launceston in that situation. It's what they couldn't manage to do in the first half. Now they've managed to turn that line-out ball over. But knocked on in the contact, I think, by Jenkinson in his attempt to take that ball that missed its target. And Launceston will get the scrum. Been some very solid runs out here from the Launceston back line. Peters at fly half. He's got Johnny Chand outside him. He'd be the smallest of them. And then the giant frames of Yesi Alatimu and Sione Tokamaada on the outside centre and the wing on this side, causing some headaches, literally, for Taroona tacklers. Just a slow set here. Inglis needs to keep an eye on the halfback Hikau, and it's taken, goes across. Peters has got a few players running off his inside, and the ball's knocked on and then snatched up by Inglis. And Ring just knocks that one as he tries to pick it up at his shoes. But we'll come back to the original knock on. So two players there running those inside lines, and the hand's just not working. Taroona now need to secure this ball and exit their defensive side. A lot of dirt on the head there of Ruben Inglis with the ball in his hands. Picked up some grass. And that dive on that ball. Probably not a very stable scrum there. And Launceston now just pushing a little bit too early. It's not your ball, Sakopi. Then throws it away. Taroona will run in here and take the tap. And it goes wide. Lagrange sees some grass deep in the back end of the Launceston defensive area, and Chan gets back and covers it, and he kicks that ball out. It comes off a Taroona player. Good pressure there from Taroona to chase that one down. And Launceston just taking their time to get back to the line out from that from the scrum. And ball's missed. And won by Taroona. So Cannell comes around and in support, gets that ball from Savoury. And now the ball will come left. So Noble looking for a gap. Runs it into a couple of guys much more larger than in size than he, and Taroona go wide, looking inside. Burke hangs onto it and then looks to his outside. He's got Holmes running out there, who stays on his feet and does a great job to maintain that possession. There wasn't a lot of support there with him originally, and if they can attack forward here, ball gets back inside to Cannell. Just a bit obvious there from Burke, but he didn't have a lot of support, and unfortunately that line that was run there by Cannell put himself in a position where the support couldn't get there quickly enough, and Launceston are all over that and turn it over. So good intentions there from Taroona to get the ball out wide and get around, but the Launceston defence has been really good. And the ball kicked out by Peters. Nice one to take his team down near the 10-metre line on their defensive half of the field. Line out throw to come. Fallon goes over the top again and snatched, I think, by Mayall. I'm not sure what happened, but I think he may have been knocked out of his hand, so we've called play on. Looked like he knocked it on. Hall has a nice run into a gap there, runs into a solid tackle from Chand. And then Taroona keep coming to the right. Cannell spots a bit of a gap, but Peters just gets inside and grabs him around the ankles. And now they go back wide again. Oh, the pass doesn't hit the target though, whereas we've got, nice pass out there from Noble, but Wright can't catch it. Trying to exploit those wide gaps, but not working. It's probably where Launceston suffered in the first half too, was just trying to push that ball too quickly out wide with those longer passes, and just made it a little bit difficult for themselves. Those floating balls harder to take. And the knock-on comes, so Wright unable to bag that one. Haven't seen a lot of kicking. We haven't seen a lot of ball in the hands of Launceston yet, but not sure whether Peters will look to kick from here or whether he'll look to use one of his bigger runners on the outside to try and bust through. There he goes to Alatimu, who's got Chand running into a nice gap. They didn't spot that, and Blowfield might have him. Great effort there by Tim Davies to defend there. And coming back in the position there, calls, I don't know if he called that ball, but well done by Lagrange to pick up the pass. And then Chan gets up and tries to make a tackle on Hall, but goes straight over the top of him. And now the defences arrived. And Albie Mayall takes it into contact. Got some support with him. Ball runs out the back though and gets popped around the outside. Wright now has a little bit of space here. Does he have the pace to get around? He doesn't get around the big arms of Fanguna though coming across, and he gets levelled. The ball comes back and Taroona's support arrives, and they've managed to maintain possession. And not a bad option there from Inglis. No one home, but no one to chase it, unfortunately. And Creek was back in a good position to take that one. And then run slowly into a solid hit from Mayol, but he's slow to get out of there, is Mayol. Way too slow to get out of there. Creek gets lifted up off the ground after very solid hit from Mayol, and they opt for the quick tap. And Carver makes the run. Ball comes out, finds Wazowski. And Launceston now just those single passes is how they're going to do it. Probably creeping a little bit, but good support play from Launceston. Using their big players, just running really sensible lines, and lost the ball again. Savoury met solidly, I think, by Dudman to take him down out there, and Taroona have to get back about 20 metres to get onside. Awful pass over the top from Cannell off the left hand. But Noble gets around, and Holmes has now got some space. He's got Blowfield on his outside, who's nice swerve. He's going to score here. Great swerve on the inside to off-balance Creek, who had a great tackling position on him, but Blowfield just swung inside and out, and Creek had no idea in the end. So great draw and feed there from Holmes. Just watch the swerve here. Inside and out off that left foot, and Creek was just left standing, too flat-footed. Just had his weight shifted forward, Creek. And lovely little piece of skill there from Callum Blowfield to put his team back within a try. The conversions are needed here for Taroona. If they can get this one, they'll be back to 2 points. Grunge now to just take his time. So the try there for Taroona, just coming from that turnover from Launceston again. Was, I think it might have been Fergus Brown, hit that ball in, and just a soft carry, hit the contact, and then as he was going to ground, he spilled it forward. It was well recovered by Savoury, and his teammates got back around him quickly to support that ball at the ruck, and then they were able to swing that ball wide, and some experienced heads from Taroona to a couple of nice draw and feed passes out there to take the defensive players out of contention of covering. And that ball's going to go out to the left. So solid contact from Lagrange, but no good. So we're 4 points in it. Still about 15, 20 minutes left of this half. Been a very even competition between second and third place. Launceston, I think, sitting in second on the reserve grade ladder, and Taroona in third. If Taroona manage to win this one, it'll put them even on wins with Launceston. But I think Launceston have had some a couple of resounding victories and some big points put on earlier in a couple of games and have a superior points differential. Anyway, that ball comes back and finds Cody Hall. He looks for Alex Cole on his outside, who runs into the tackler and knocks him away, and Hall does a great job to not go out over the sideline. His foot was precariously close to the white paint. Mayol now with a good hit up, and the support there, puts it back, dishes it off, finds Lagrange, who now goes wide, and they're looking to get that ball out around the outside, and backs for Launceston offside. Burke spots a hole in behind, and Chan gets across. Burke just manages to hang on long enough for his team to arrive. Burke's picked out, jumped off of the ground there, but he's offside. Saw the ball roll out. He's got to his feet and picked it up on the way. But he's got to come back he's got to get that ball from an onside position. And turns the ball back over. So lucky for Launceston, because they were taking a long time to get back there. And the kick from Peters down the line's a good one. And we'll see a line out at the halfway. The fullback, I think Chand and Creek have sort of been swapping a little bit in and out of that position, but their positional play has been really good back in that fullback position. Taroona got some smart kickers, but yeah, Launceston have done a really good job to cover that. And line out from Launceston, no good again. Taken by Mayol this time, and he gets it back. Now Taroona will have another opportunity. I'd say we'd see them go wide again. Now they dish off short to Cole, who's met in a very nice tackle, but manages to keep his momentum forward. And that ball's been turned over, but nice counter ruck in there from Brown that drove through and allowed his teammates to get in there and have a crack at that ball, but it was knocked on in the attempt to pick up, I think, by, it was Rosowski again. So many beards in there, it's a little hard to tell exactly who's who from Launceston when they've got their heads over the ball. And we will have another scrum. Taroona now with the put in. Struggled a little bit at the scrum. I think we haven't had one for a while, but here it comes. Get it back quickly, and it comes out. So well done this time to Taroona to get that ball out. Burke spots a big goal, big hole running straight ahead, and he's going to have Blowfield on his outside, and he manages to find him. Blowfield slips away, and Taroona are back in front. So Alistair Burke there hanging on to that ball, throwing a dummy, and the defensive line of Launceston all bought that one. Just watch it. Burke throws it here, and Chand, great inside run there from Rob Holmes. Chand was coming across in defence. And again, just great eyes there with Burke too. He knew that he had Blowfield out on his right-hand side. You could see, and he didn't throw the pass too early to allow any cover defence to come across. And Callum Blowfield goes over for his second and puts his team in front. Similar position to the last one as well. Seeing Lagrange going, where am I allowed to kick this from? It's being directed where it is, and Launceston out wide now, starting to struggle a little bit in their backs. Once they get that, get around a couple of phases and they're a little bit disorganised in their defensive line, Taroona are now starting to spot some holes, so Launceston need to shore that up a little bit. But it was really a great little inside line there from Holmes that took Chand out of that defensive line, and he was tracking across to try and take Burke, and that allowed Burke to straighten up and make the break. And he just needed to draw the last defender, as he did really effectively. Bit of a pump fake with the pass. Kick looks good this time too. No, just fades away across to the left. The crowd was excited about it behind him. And we're now 1 point in it. Still anyone's ball game. Launceston have really come from behind to get that lead anyway. Doesn't take them a lot of possession to score. They've been very efficient. But they just need to keep their hands on the ball. We saw their try earlier where they did that really effectively. Another nice kick from Peters, and Hall's onto it. Oh, bit of a high one there over the shoulder. A good old seatbelt tackle there. So Kieran Fallon just there getting a hand high on Cody Hall, who's played a great game. Fallon's been excellent too today. Just would be disappointed with that one, but good pressure from him in the end. If he hadn't have done that, Hall would have made that breakthrough and would have been putting his teammates on the back foot. So good pressure from him. The kick from Lagrange is a nice banana and takes his team deep into an attacking position. Lineouts from both teams haven't been great. It's one of those aspects of the game that requires a lot of rehearsal, and often that's not always possible at this level of play. Smith now with the throw-in. He'll be looking to go to, I imagine, Savoury in the number 20 there at the front. Just a nice, easy one. And Savoury manages to get his hand on it, but again, not straight. So the scrum to Launceston now. They've been very dominant in this area. Made it very difficult for Taroona when they've had the feed, and Launceston they don't push too hard on their own feed. They're just making sure that they get a nice platform. It's a great view of the Launceston back line out there. Peters, Alatimu, Chandway outside him, but it's a messy one this time. Launceston managed to get that out, but not sure who's over the top of that ball. Again, Chris Noble. Just such low body height and those massive thighs. Gets his body height down really nicely over the top of him, maintains his own body weight. It's very hard to clean him off that ball when he's grabbing onto it and also grabbing hold of the player on the ground. And so well done there, Noble, to turn that ball over. So after pumping up the Launceston scrum, they didn't do so well that time. Here comes the ball. Taroona win their own line out this time. It's the first time. And there's a hole out there too. Noble runs into a great one. Swerves one way, swerves the other, and he's over. So makes the turnover coming from the back of the scrum and then runs into a beautiful, beautiful hole around the outside there of Burke. Just some great lines being run here. Again, Noble comes out of nowhere for this ball. You just see him. He's talked to Burke. Burke knew he was coming, and he gets around and scores easily in the end. And nice work. So Taroona exploiting a bit of tiredness in the Launceston backline now. I think fitness is showing to be the key for them. And a much nicer position here for the kick to take place for Lagrange. You'll be happier with this one. And just taking his time. I'm sure he's soaking up more than the allocated minute and a half. But 10 minutes, I reckon, to go in this half. Looking good are the Penguins now. Starting to exploit the defence of Launceston as it's tiring, because they've been very good and very solid, their defence, up until probably the last 5 minutes, Launceston, and now just starting to get into a bit of disarray. That's a nice kick. And pushes that margin now out to 8. So beyond that converted try, which a little bit of breathing space for the Penguins. And regardless of the tiring nature of some of these Launceston players, they'll still be able to score from anywhere. And the kick's great. Noble calls it. And cops one over the neck there from Fanguna, who's offside. The referee wasn't able to pick that one up. And there's no assistant referee on this side of the field. Oh, a long pass there from Inglis, finds Chaperone Tucker, who appears to now have come into the fly-half position. Awful bounce. Chaperone Tucker might get a good bounce here. Oh, he gets the boot on it really nicely. And Wright picks it up. He's got some space, and he gives it in field to Holmes. Holmes gets tackled just short. Dishes it back to Wright. No, Davies, who scores after bumbling one in the first half. And Taroona with some great work out there. Excellent work from George Chaperone Tucker, who did hurt himself when he was attempting to kick that ball. Nice work from Wright. Good little pass infield. I thought it was Wright on the who came back and got that ball, but it was Davies tracking in a great support play, and he puts this one down over the line after dropping one a little bit short in the first half. And the Penguins push further ahead. And we've got a blue card here too. So unfortunately for AJ Creek, in his attempt to tackle, I think it's Holmes over there, he's not looking very happy as he's coming off the field. Very unsteady on his feet. And we did see the referee hold that blue card up. For those who don't know what a blue card is, it's when the referee deems a player's had a head knock and shouldn't remain on the field. And it's really about care for the player well-being. But yeah, Creek definitely, as he's coming off, is not looking very happy. He's copped probably a Rob Holmes knee as he's made that tackle. That was almost a try saver, really. It was a great effort by Creek to make that tackle, getting across. Holmes is very hard to stop, has really good ability to stay on his feet. And Creek did an excellent job there, but Holmes was just able to offload that ball to Davies, who really had nothing to do that time but fall over the line. Davies attempting his own conversion now that Lagrange, I think, has come off the field and not quite getting onto that one. So with about 5 minutes on the clock now, 13 points up. Launceston really need to get this ball back off the kickoff. And it's looking good, but it goes short. Fanguna catches it and looks for an inside line, but hasn't gone the 10. And so we'll see the scrum back in the middle of the field here. And Taroona just checking out the scores around on the other ground. There's another match at the moment happening. I think it's up at Burnie, between Burnie second grade and Eastern Suburbs, who've travelled all the way up there. Big 4-hour road trip. And Burnie are very comfortably in the lead there, 63. But 17 points. 17 points there to Easts. So they're giving it a good crack up there, which is good to see. So, but yeah, Burnie on top of this second division ladder will keep that position pretty safely, and we'll see after this match if it, as the ladder would stand, we'll see Taroona go to 4 wins as well. In fact, looking at the ladder, it's this Launceston team that are actually on top. I was under the impression that that Burnie were on top of the ladder, but no, it's not. And we'll see Burnie go level with Launceston actually at the top. And here we go. Peters with the ball, finds Chand. Burke has thrown his hand out, but interesting that the ball's gone backwards. But so interesting call there. It's right in front of us. Burke's thrown his hand out at the ball, but it didn't go forward. So, you know, the Launceston players are claiming a penalty or a yellow card for the intentional knock-on. But because the ball did not go forwards, there's nothing that can actually be penalised, and it's a totally legal play. But in the end, Blowfield, who recovered that ball, knocked it on the ground. Chand just down in back play, clutching at his hamstring. I'm not sure what if he's okay, but he looks all right now as he's coming back. While they reset this scrum, just talking about the ladder in this competition. So Launceston are on top. The team we can see out here, they've only lost 1 game, and their points differential there 160 plus. Burnie though will add to theirs and go to 6 and 5 as well, and equal Launceston, but they don't have the points differential. So it'll still be Launceston and then Burnie, and Taroona with a win here will still be behind though and be in 3rd place. We're running into our final series coming up in a couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see how the ladder turns out with the top 3 being so close, really. Nice run. Fanguna finally manages to make a break, and he dishes it inside, and Dudman's got it, running into a big gap. Not sure Davies came in, really had a good cover on him. Just went a little bit high, and Dudman with a nice little push-off just sent Davies flying. And scores a try. So they've hit back. They need to convert and get another one. And convert that as well to get the win. Good work there from Launceston. Nice support line and good running from the big fella, Sakopi Fanguna, who's looked dangerous all day. He's just struggled to get his hands on the ball. Finally, in that situation, he had a nice run, made a good line break, and then an easy little dish off to Dudman, who's played really well all day. And there's a nice curving kick too. Great work there from Alatimu. And with about a minute left on the clock, it's 6 points. Converted try will win the game for Launceston, who've only had about 10% possession the whole day. Somehow managed to stay in the game with those little flashes of brilliance. And Burke with the kick, and he gives the ball back to Launceston by not making the 10. Launceston will have a scrum midfield, and it's a perfect opportunity Someone like Chand, if he can get in a gap. Any of them, anyone in this Launceston back line. Give them a brief sniff of a hole and they'll be through. So prime opportunity here. I dare say there's not going to be a lot more left in the match after this scrum. So Launceston need to hang on to the ball. They don't want to throw it too errantly like they have done most of the game. And they win that ball easily. And Peters swings around. Inglis doesn't go low enough, but in the end, Burke gets him. And there's a good counter ruck here from Taroona. Ball's fallen on their side. And they're going to be penalised, though, I think. Unfortunately, Alex Cole went off his feet. Now Chan goes the quick tap and ducks around. I think he's been okay. I don't think anyone tackled him who was offside. And Launceston have got their tails up. So it's unfortunate. There's good defence in the end from Taroona, but Cole just ended up on the wrong side of the ball. Fanguna's down. Will slowly look to get up. And Launceston, 25 out. Game's going to end very shortly. They need to make sure of no mistakes. Taroona can't afford to give any penalties away in this situation. Ball's out. And a nice solid hit there. Again, the ball comes wide. Peters now goes wide to Chand. If they don't grab him, he's just taken by Shapper and Tucker, but hits a looping Peters. And nice pick and drive. So Launceston do a great job. Fling that one back, though. And they've still kept it alive. A nice attempt there. Nice tackle. Great contact from Michael Smith, who read that ball brilliantly out of the defensive line for Taroona. And Launceston stopped on their 22. And the ball pops out again. And Taroona now have got it away. I'm not sure that there's a penalty here from Taroona for referee abuse. Unusual given that they had the ball. So ill discipline there. Taroona have been really good all day. But now somebody says something to the referee. Judging by the shaking head of Michael Smith, it may have been him. Don't know. But penalty there. Taroona turned that ball over, and surely the game was over if they had to keep their mouth shut. And here we go. So Launceston get a free shot at it. Defence has got to be A1 here from Taroona. Peters comes blind. They take too long, though, to get it to him. And, oh, the dummy from Peters. He goes inside, but taken in the end by Blowfield. And the ball's picked up. Hard-hitting runners running straight. Can't quite take them. They need to stop them in front of these posts. A try in front of the posts will make it all too easy. And Fanguna now gets his head up. Oh, beautiful dish to Fallon. It's so close now, 2 metres out. Launceston just looking for the try. It needs to be converted. They come back inside. Fanguna held up. Again, just 2 from the line. No mistakes from Launceston. The game will surely be over. Pushes the ball out here now into Lachlan Wood's hands. He goes over the line. I think he's been held up. But there's another penalty against Taroona for offside. Peters goes the quick tap. Defence is up and smashes him backwards. Hickow picks it up now. Launceston really struggling here. Nice work from Dudman to make a few metres. That comes in and the turnover's good. All that needs to happen now from Taroona is to tap this ball and get it out of play. Just need to take their time. Burke taps the ball, runs, kicks it out, and there's the match. So very exciting finish there. Some excellent rugby by both teams. Desperate defence from Taroona manages to see them hold out a dangerously finishing Launceston Tigers team and win by 6. There was a ball held up over the try line there by, I think it was Kieran Fallon who went, no, maybe Lachlan Wood, I think, who went over and was held up. And the penalty tap, quick tap taken by Robbie Peters, who played a really excellent game of rugby all day. He wasn't able to get over the line. And in the end, the ball was turned over. and we'll see the end of the match there. So a very exciting game, a really close one between what was our first and third teams. It'll stay like that too. Taroona, despite the win, will still be in third. Burnie in second, Launceston in first, and that's it for this match. So well done all round to both teams, and we will see you back in about 35 minutes for our Premiership Division first grade between Taroona Penguins and the Devonport Bulls.